So I'm coming on here all teary-eyed again. Whew. This letting go of beliefs is not for the faint of heart. And I've been experiencing so much pain today. And so I wanted to tell you about it and show you how I deal with it to stay, you know, sane and coherent when the nervous system and the body's freaking out. And there's a difference. It's so fascinating. Um, I'm starting to recognize the difference between emotional pain and physical pain. And emotional pain it's more electric. It's like pulsing and burning and electric while in my experience it's a lot in the chest, a lot in the body, but it's kind of a weird it's kind of a weird discomfort. It's so uncomfortable, but it's totally different in my experience than physical pain. And what I think happens if enough emotional pain has been shoved down there, it has to come out, so it goes and it manifests as physical pain. Now, I wouldn't swear to that, but that's what I'm guessing. So, as there's a questioning of these beliefs that keep arising and the willingness to see the innocence of that, and I'll explain that in a minute, is so important. And I can't stress enough, if your mind is freaking out because of something happening in the body and not coherent, it's like putting fuel on the fire, right? And how is this going to stop? How is this ever going to end? Oh my God, how am I going to work? And the mind will start catastrophizing in a future that doesn't exist because it's so afraid to feel. But think about it. When we were little, it wasn't, especially if we grew up in where we felt unsafe, it wasn't safe to feel. If I felt vulnerable, I was going to get hit or hurt. If I felt angry, I would threaten my very existence. If I felt anything that was perceived as negative, that was not okay because my little safety mechanism was saying, protect, 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 protect. That hypervigilant, that fight or flight. Anxiety is the byproduct of an emergency state of attention. So if we didn't feel safe, we were perceiving the potential of an emergency. Everything speeds up. The nervous system speeds up. The mind speeds up. And what does it speed up in? Trying to find a solution. But we were little. There's no solution. We were stuck. And so all of those emotions that couldn't come out were shoved down. And then we build a persona on top of it to stay safe. In order to stay safe, I will mold myself into who I think you want me to be. And that looks like perfectionism. That looks like good girl, nice girl, or boy. And we put on these coats of who we think we need to be that are way too small to shove those emotions inside and to keep them like a cocoon in there. And then we live from the head up. And we start to believe that we are that belief system. We didn't come in with belief systems. Belief systems are thoughts made real by the felt sense. We didn't come in with them. We learned every single belief. You learned your name, Learn that you were a girl, learn that you were a boy, learn that you were a good girl, learn that you were a bad boy. All learned. And then we don't question it. Why? Because we're living up there. By the way, we're paying attention. So the world in our head seems more real than the moment. You see, this is where relaxing attention is essential, because how do you ever see what's real when your attention is believing this little horror movie based on your past, throwing it into the future that doesn't exist, trying to stay safe, and you're paying attention to it like this. And the body's responding to this world because it thinks it's more real, because it's all it sees, until, boom, attention relaxes, 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 relaxes. Oh my gosh. The moment's safe. I can hear it. There's no threat. All that mental gyration and control and future forward thinking was a protection mechanism, protecting in a future that doesn't exist, instead of being now realizing it's over. You take your narrow view out of this imaginary, fearful world, and you put it in what's actually happening. And the only way to do that is you have to lift up and get the body here. Notice it's safe. What I'm planning for in the future is already happening. So let me just hang here. Now, here's the deal. This is what I've been experiencing. When the body starts to feel safe, then those repressed things start to come up because it feels safe. It's like letting a kid watch a horror movie for however old you are, the horror movie. And all of a sudden you take the child out of the theater, and you put the child in a safe situation. Well, the body's still going to go, yep, I saw this, I saw this. And then we go, wait a minute though. Look. Keep looking, you're over. It's over. This is the movie, this now moment. This is the movie. Can you look up? Can you see what's actually happening? As opposed to what's not. Listen to the soundtrack of now, not to the soundtrack of thinking. Now. And then that tight container of all that repressed stuff from watching that horror movie will want to start relaxing because it feels safe. But the mind is still afraid of sensation because no one taught us how to process being uncomfortable. They didn't say, oh, honey, that's your belief system. You're believing something that's not true. That's what's painful. I'm unworthy. Ow. The body says, ow. Like any little kid would. It's your fault. You're disgusting. Ow. Ow. And we think that's us. And we walk around then, ow. You see faces that look like that? They're just believing beliefs that aren't true. You see someone in the moment, really present. That's what it looks like. So this slows down and this unwinds. So what we have to do when we're letting the body unwind is know what's happening. Oh, I've dragged this sweet body out of the movie theater, and now I'm in the theater of now, where it's safe, It's okay, honey. And all this energy starts to go. And instead of the mind saying, no, it's dangerous, don't feel it, don't feel it, and trying to strategize to get out of it, you hear those thoughts too in the present moment, but you're not collapsed into them. Then you no longer think that's who you are. And you can hear them, and you can hear, oh, they're so afraid. My brain is so afraid. But look, it's almost like you've got a sibling, two siblings. You've got the younger one here, and then the terrified one here. It's almost like this is the physical body that went through the actual hurt, and then this mental me, this emotional me of the thought system. You got to show both of them. That's okay. When this one starts acting up, you got to go, it's okay, baby. You're just scared. But look, it's over. It's over. Future's not even here. It's already safe. And then when this one calms down, then you let this one, no longer held in the body, held in the moment, held in the safety, by the safety. And that's how we deal with repressed emotions. We have to recognize safety. And that can only be done by relaxing out of the imagined fearful world into, and watch my hands, relaxing. This is the lens of attention, like a camera lens. I'm going to see what's happening. I'm going to include the body so that the body can see total safety. Hear total safety of this moment. Now, in the nowness, things can start to unwind. And we will learn what we never learned, which is to self, with a capital S, soothe. That's it for now. Thanks for listening.